feathers. And after this, the eagle takes its famous flight of rebirth and lives for another 30 years. Why is the change needed?
So I'm sure all of us would have watched this video earlier. Um, at this time of uncertainty, it is more relevant to the context, not only for teachers, but for everyone who has been undergoing the challenges in this times of corona crisis. Lots of things are uncertain, and we have the option to transform ourselves. And very beautifully, you all teachers have been transforming yourself, adapting yourself to the technology, and it's really exciting to see the way classes are being conducted, how you keep the continuity on. So with that note, let me start. So today's topic given to me is Faculty Empowerment Program. I'm sure all of you are already empowered with the knowledge and new technologies using different platforms. Is the PPT visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so before I begin, generally, thank you slide comes at the end of the session. But today, I thought for the kind of respect I have for the teachers and professors out there who have been really taking lots of extra efforts in keeping the learning process going for students and youngsters. A big thank you from my side and on behalf of all the parents for the excellent work you have been doing. So you can just raise your hand and give a pat on the back for yourself. Do not wait for somebody else to come and give. You really deserve a big uh, appreciation at this point of time. Okay, now, generally in the concept of transactional analysis in psychology, we have a concept called strokes. Probably some of you might be aware of it. So strokes is nothing but act of appreciation. So what I request you to begin with an activity is you can appreciate one positive quality of one person present here in this webinar, either through the chat or if you want to appreciate somebody who is not in the webinar, you can always send them a message on the WhatsApp or a normal message. Or if you want to appreciate somebody at home, your spouse or your child, you can just give one stroke of appreciation to somebody, at least one person right now. So in case you have the person you want to appreciate right in this webinar, you can post the message in the chat to them privately or in public also you can do. So I'm just giving few seconds for you to send that one word of appreciation, one stroke of appreciation for somebody, either someone who is in the webinar or someone who is outside or somebody who is at home with you who really deserves some appreciation. So let me see if somebody is giving any word of appreciation in the chat. So I appreciate each one of you for being wonderful teachers. So here goes my appreciation to each one of you. So I request you to post at least one appreciation, at least for one person who is present here or not present here. Probably some of you are sending the appreciation. Okay, appreciate all my teachers. Wow, thank you for my daughter to make me attend this program. Yes, ma'am. We learn a lot of things from our children. Okay, Uma Venkat Ramanan is coming to say something. Manikandan, I really appreciate the coordinator of this program. Yes, I too appreciate. And Rengaraj, I appreciate my students. Great, sir. That's totally a great perspective. Then, okay. So as we keep getting the appreciations, why I need you all do this is appreciate my daughter during COVID-19 TTO. Probably she's a doctor. Rukmini, I appreciate my children. Lola, I appreciate the organizers. Okay. So every human being has the need to be recognized and appreciated. Nothing like recognition or appreciation works wonders for anyone, not only for students, but for any relationship around us. So whatever little act they do, immediately recognize and appreciate. So this is just a beginning and I request you to make it a habit. Dear Papa, you are my mom. Okay, I appreciate my son for assisting me to attend. Uma Ranganathan, I thank my daughter and my husband helping to know the technology updated for me. I appreciate my school for getting more opportunities for attending programs like this. I wish to appreciate all the doctors. Yes, today is Doctors' Day. Let us thank all the doctors. I appreciate doctor. Okay, I appreciate the effort taken by the staff and head of institutions and the management. I appreciate teamwork. Okay, thank you so much. I'm very happy that I just initiated this act. Appreciate all the volunteers who are all working in this pandemic situation. Great. Okay, so keep that habit of appreciation on, and please do make it a habit, particularly in this time when many are feeling low. One word of appreciation or recognition will really make them enthusiastic. And as teachers, a teacher takes a hand, opens a mind, and touches a heart. So I'm not saying because I'm doing this session for teachers, but basically I have great respect for teachers. I have drawn a lot of inspiration from my teachers, professors, and I look at them like really living angels who are here to spread knowledge. Take a lot of efforts. I have seen a lot of inspiring teachers who take a lot of extra time and effort to do whatever they do in the best manner possible. Okay, so now why we are talking about this? Because of such an unforeseen pandemic which is with us, the corona situation, which is really unforeseen. We never anticipated it. The uncertain, we really don't know how it is going to behave tomorrow or after a few weeks or after a few months. Unpredictable and the unseen. So in this corona situation, there are lots of volunteers, doctors, policemen, and I feel that teachers are also warriors who are
okay ella seri aidonda seri aidom okay don't
okay, I request the participants to please mute yourself.
Yeah, okay, edavadhu help panna you just
okay, so the challenges we face in these times as teachers, you have really learned beautifully, adapted to the technology, but handling different types of students. So we see a lot of videos coming up, like you ask the students to keep the audio on mute, video on mute. Some students are able to manage it and some students are not able to. They are not able to juggle between things. Handling some parents, learning new technology. Of course, you have handled it beautifully. But for all this, you might be wondering what is the recognition I am getting, what is the appreciation I am getting. So that is why we have these kind of programs. And I really feel so happy that I'm able to use this platform to sincerely acknowledge the efforts you all have been taking. And on top of all this, sometimes when you're working from home, your family must be. I spoke to, before doing the session, I spoke to quite a few teachers and took inputs from them. So one of the major concerns was that while at work, while they were working from school, they spent limited hours in school and some hours of paper correction or so at home. But now it looks like we are always preparing, and while we are at home, if we are on the system, the family feels that we not paying attention to the children, to the family, etc. So all these challenges are there, but still let us see how we can manage this in a better manner. So this uncertainty of all the five W's and one H. What is going to happen? When is this going to end? Where did it come from and where is it going to stop? Why is this happening? All that is absolutely uncertain, and how is it going to be cured, etc. But you know, in these times of crisis and uncertainty, if you look back, these are the times which have always ended in some great advancements. So crisis situations have always resulted in lots of transformations across the globe. If we look back, turn the pages in history, we can know that. So fear, uncertainty, and discomfort are our compasses towards growth. So this time of uncertainty, if you just do an introspection, you will wonder how much you have transformed positively and how much you have been able to help others, and what is the kind of personal time or the family time you still have got. Okay, some days may be challenging, but otherwise, overall, at least the traveling time is saved. And if we are able to plan properly, we can get some constructive time for the family as well. And tolerance for uncertainty is the prerequisite to succeeding. So in this time of uncertainty, if we are able to be tolerant and if we are able to handle the situation, certainly we are moving towards success. And this is nature's restart button, and definitely we have beautiful days ahead. But in this time of challenge, we still hope and pray that we don't lose lives and we learn to better handle the situation. In uncertain situations, we have two options. Either we have to wait or get into action. So the picture shows the left one. We keep waiting. The loop, you know, it comes back to waiting. We keep waiting, waiting and waiting. We keep exploring. Then we feel self-pity. We stay with that. The feeling, enthusiasm fades, and then again we wait, we continue to wait. But the alternate option is to get into action with the little known information. Look at what is known. So in the situation of uncertainty, I know what all I know is to conduct the sessions online and also teach the students how to cope up with this and participate to the extent possible in the social activities. So look at what is known, what is in front of us. Take just one step at a time. Just take one step. Have the courage to wait. Watch for what happens. So when you take the one step, probably you will find a way of how to go about, whether left or right. And then again get into what is known. So like this, you can continuously get into the loop of action or the loop of waiting. The choice is ours. So I'm sure all of us are in the second circle of having the courage to act, and that's how we are attending sessions like this, or we are conducting sessions like this, doing the best things possible in the given situation. Okay, so that's about uncertainty. In this situation, what all we can do? First, now is the time to look at ourselves. I always like this picture very well. Okay, so it's like literally turning towards ourselves and reading ourselves. That's what the picture implies. So we need to know about ourselves first. What we need to know. Okay, before knowing, let us tell ourselves to be kind, to be patient, to be generous. So you must be wondering, we are already doing that to our students. To be accepting. No, I didn't mean it towards students. Be all of those things to yourself. So now read it again to yourself. Be kind, be patient, be generous, and be accepting. That is where everything begins. By accepting ourselves for whatever we are and telling ourselves good enough is good enough. So unconditional acceptance is required for everyone around us, but particularly for ourselves. This is the time for us to introspect, know about ourselves. Self-awareness is very essential. So let us take time, little time to introspect and know what are my interests, what are my needs, what are my skills, what are my values, what are my hopes and dreams. Have I been running all these years without even introspecting this, just to catch up with the race? What have I been doing? So now the restart button has given us little time to do some self-introspection, to think and understand about ourselves. So some amount of self-awareness is required. All of us know this SWOT analysis. I'm not going to talk about SWOT analysis, but You must have done your SWOT analysis many years back. At every stage, when you do, your strengths, opportunities, or areas of improvement or threats keep on changing. For example, in the current scenario, if you ask anybody, the threat they will say is the uncertainty of COVID times. That's the only major threat. And strengths, if you see, you have added a lot of strengths. You have learned various technology platforms. We have learned to conduct webinars. We have learned to adapt to the changes. We have become resilient. So actually now, from what I said, if you really introspect, each one of us have added a lot of strengths in this challenging situation. Why am I speaking about the SWOT analysis? While we know our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, one important aspect we should not miss to observe is our blind spot. So, what is our blind spot? Some of you must be able to recollect it from the Johari window. What is a blind spot? Something which we are not able to see and which others are able to see. So at this time, while you're doing the self-introspection, we can also find out our blind spots. Is there a pattern which I'm not aware of what I'm doing in my style of teaching or in the way I'm interacting with people? So let me take feedback and improve myself. Because blind spots distort our decision making and also distort our progress or performance. So just keep this word in mind, blind spots, and this time we can really find out by taking feedbacks about our blind spots and work on it. Okay, so while we saw about the blind spots and the SWOT analysis, are we aware of the TOWS analysis? TOWS analysis is nothing but the reverse form of SWOT, SWOT. Some of you professors might have known this, but whatever I'm sharing with you, many of you must be aware of, but let us take it as reminders because our focus is on something else now. So we need to rejuvenate ourselves to continue the journey. That's the very purpose of reminding ourselves of these facts. So in TOWS analysis, it is about connecting the strengths and opportunities with the weaknesses and threats. So internal factors are the strengths and weaknesses. Opportunities and threats are the external factors. But if we list down our strengths, opportunities, areas of improvement, I don't like the word weakness, so I'm replacing it with areas of improvement and threats. We will be really, if we analyze those factors, we will be able to pick up some opportunities and some strengths to handle some of the threats and some of the weaknesses or areas of improvement. So I'm just showing the format here and the concept here. Probably end of the session, you can try to list down your SWOT and try to link what all strengths and opportunities we can make use of to overcome the weaknesses or the threats. Okay, so next, while we know we have to be aware of ourselves, we also need to take care of ourselves. So take time for self-care, and self-care is certainly not being selfish. Okay, so now can I have some answers on what you all have been doing for self-care? In Tamil, there is a proverb, Suvar irundal dhan sithiram. So unless we...
Charumati, ma'am, please stop sharing your screen, ma'am. Charumati. Charumati Jambulingam.
Oh, was my PPT visible so long?
Someone is sharing, ma'am, that's why.
Okay, so my PPT was not visible so long,
Yes,
is
yes,
it?
yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was not aware of it. Okay, let me try stop sharing and try again. Oh, I wasn't aware of it. Okay. So now can
Yes,
you all type?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
yes,
now it's visible. Okay. So can you all type how you are taking care of yourself? So what is that you are doing for self-care at this time? Okay. You're able to see my screen? Okay, thank you. So can you all type what you have been doing for self-care at this time? Waiting for some answers. See, when we do sessions In person, we will be able to interact. So now the option we have to interact in this limited time is only through the chat. So good sleep, very good, Aravindan. Soundra, meditation, good sleep, including lot of veggies in my diet. Okay, breathing exercise, meditation, yoga, regular walk in the terrace. Yes, eat healthy food like vegetables and fruits, walking, excellent. Face yoga. Oh, face yoga. Okay, that's great, Parveen. Walking, okay. Yoga, okay, very good. Many prayers, yoga, walking, Neeraja, doing some physical exercise and regular walking in the terrace, meditation, exercise, okay. So by and large, you have been taking care of yourself by doing some yoga or pranayam or proper diet, walking in the terrace. So we don't find excuses within the available situation or opportunities, whatever best is possible we have been doing. Okay, so though the picture shows a child, these are applicable to adults also, for us also. So let us focus on self-care. By cultivating a hobby, you can pick up some new hobby, learn something new also. If you are able to plan the time properly, I think we can do all these things. Getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep, very essential. Exercising, being spiritual, self-compassionate, self-pampering, meditation, learning how to say no. That's very important. And setting aside the me time. Okay, at least when you have coffee in the morning, when you sip your coffee, or just before going to bed, or whenever possible, have this me time, just the space and time for yourself. Almost everything will work again if you unplug for a few minutes, including you. So that's why we need the me time. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to keep the self-esteem very high. The picture is I mean, it's self-explanatory. What matters most is how we see ourselves. Unless we keep the self-esteem high, when we do these online sessions, it will not reach the students effectively. So keep your self-esteem factor very high, and before taking the sessions, never get into any arguments or quarrel with the family members. If they are coming for some argument also, just tell them, okay, let us continue the discussion after my session. So beginning of the session, it is very important to have a cheerful mood and with high self-esteem. And our wellness is very, very important. We have been teaching, but just ask ourselves, I'm also asking myself whether we are taking care of our wellness, various aspects of it, particularly emotional, physical, career, social, environmental, financial, spiritual. So one or few of these factors may be stressing some people. So we need to handle these situations for overall wellness. Only then we can be effective in whatever we are doing. This is a mind map for emotional wellness. All these are required for our overall emotional wellness. And to be emotionally healthy, let's maintain a healthy social network. So I remember one of my professors used to say a networked person is the most networthy person. It just got registered very strongly in my mind. And that really helps. Stay connected with people, be optimistic, have a sense of purpose. Every day when we wake up, we should have some things of a lot of list of things to do which will keep us motivated. Be hopeful about the future. Yes, it is uncertain. We don't know when the pandemic will come to an end. We don't know when the school will reopen. But let us all be blessed that we have a job. Even if the salary is cut for some, at least we have a job on hand. There are people who have lost the jobs. So let us count our blessings and believe that things will change. Though we do not know when, but let us hope for the best. There are a lot of positive things also happening at this time that you're able to do. So take care of yourself and do some self-introspection. And next, what is required is resilience. Again, to put it in Tamil, Yedayam Tangum Dev. So be strong mentally, and so resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and responsibility to pick yourself up, come what may. Okay, we say that it's okay to fall, but the resilience lies in how quick we get up and resume ourselves and continue, proceed. So again to say, எவ்வளவோ பார்த்துட்டோம் இதையும் பார்த்துருவோம் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி we have to handle the situation. So every day we have to pick up lot of resilience because there's lot of uncertainty. You must be hearing people, your friends, relatives getting affected with corona, having lot of fear. But if we live in that state of uncertainty or fear, we will not be able to be effective at all. So with resilience, just come out of it and focus on what best we can do. So this is about emotional resilience. To be emotionally resilient, generally the stimulus is, if we say in the Big Boss language, it is the triggers or stressors that really disturb us or irritate us. Probably it could be the behavior of someone, even in the session it could be the behavior of some students or some parents or somebody at home or a colleague, so neighbor, we don't know, some people sometimes irritate us or trigger us. So know the triggers, and an emotionally resilient person will respond to the situation, take time, take a pause and respond to the situation instead of instantly reacting to the situation. And in crisis situations, life doesn't get easier or more forgiving, but the net result is we get stronger and more resilient. We become better people, and we acquire a lot of new things also to be stronger in future. And this is a story of the teachers as magical transformers. I remember about a student who was struggling with depression. All kinds of interventions did not work for months. School decided to change the section of this boy and put him to a teacher whose magic skills were very popular. And magic is what she did in a couple of months' time. The child had not only pushed the depression out, but was actively involved in the class play, being a buddy for another child also with learning disability, and there was a lot of progress. And the boy was making a lot of new friends. So when the boy was asked what happened, suddenly there's a lot of change, positive change in you, he just shrugged and said, I don't know. So not satisfied with his answer and thoroughly intrigued, the teacher was contacted. This teacher, the magical teacher, was contacted and asked her strategies. She said in a very simple, humble tone, I just make sure the child knows that he is loved, he belongs, and that the whole class is with him. He is not alone. So that, just that feeling being given to the child totally transformed him. So the power of our words, our classroom management styles, our teaching strategies, inclusion, innovative teaching styles, all get life if we are able to love each and every child as though they are our child in the class and make sure they know it. So it's not enough if we love each child, but they may also need to know that we are there for them, we care for them, which you all have been doing. But in this virtual classroom sessions, it's a bit difficult, but we can take turns to all the students, mentioning them, appreciating them, etc. So this story of Mrs. Thompson, I feel time may not be sufficient to play the video, but you would have seen the story of Mrs. Thompson where the teacher totally transforms a boy with her personal attention. I wanted to play, but for what of time, I'm just passing it. You can see that later. So this is Bill Gates. He said, success today requires the agility. I am keeping this slide for insisting on the quality of agility. What is agility? Can somebody type the definition in the chat? What is agility? Thank you, Munyapan sir. Oh, drinking kashayam, Devi, I'm seeing. Very good. Okay, I'm waiting for somebody to give meaning of agility. Giving positive approach to one's adaptable situation, Arvind. Being active. Yes. Any other definition? Okay, yeah, adapting to the situation. Agility is to do things with speed but gracefully. So some ability to move quickly and easily, very good. Yes, Meena. Ability to act, yeah. So agility, being agile, is to do the things fast and with grace. Some people, if you see, they'll be doing one job. If you give them one extra job, they will get confused. So even the one that they were doing earlier, no, they will mess up or Some are very good in multitasking, so they know to do multiple things at the same time, and they quickly adapt to the changing scenario, and they are able to perform with grace and with speed. So that's the example given here. In sports also, the quality of agility is very much required, how they have to be quickly moving but gracefully. They shouldn't fall also. So the quality of agility is required in this changing challenging situation. We all know about time management. We all, of course, all of us should be maintaining a to-do list, and not to miss out on the important things that we have to do. We know about the prioritization grid, what is urgent and what is important to focus on immediately, what is not urgent but important to postpone a few days later, what is urgent but not important, always we can delegate. So all these we know. We also know about, all of you must have seen this empty pickle jar video, where it's about prioritizing and knowing what are our top priorities in life at every stage in life. So let us also remember about this time structuring pattern. Some of us tend to withdraw it sometimes. Sometimes we just spend time for rituals, formal talks. Pastimes, we spend some time for pastimes, spending our time, or even can be our hobbies, and in some activities towards an outcome like working out, and games for entertainment and for intimacy. So the time structuring is all about, if you see, withdrawal is the least risky and gives least appreciation to the self, and intimacy, so the risk and the stroke factor increases downward. So all of us have to, all these are important for everyone. Don't think that withdrawal is not required. Sometimes for the me time, we need to withdraw, find the me space and the me time, and we have to take some rest also if we have to focus on the constructive activities. Time structuring is all about finding time for all these aspects which are essential for a human being. And motivation, no one can motivate us. This picture also is very close to me. The first time I saw it, I was so impressed. So you can see here the bulb, it's trying to charge itself. So no one can motivate us until we motivate ourselves. We cannot wait for somebody, because each and every person around us, they are engrossed in their own concerns, their own worries, their own problems and challenges. So it is me or we who are responsible for motivating ourselves. What motivates us? So there are two types of motivations, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. The current trend is not to wait for the extrinsic motivation and to focus only on the intrinsic motivation, which for us can be self-satisfaction, happiness, peace of mind. So this is all I want to do for my own feel-good factor. So these can some of the intrinsic factors which can motivate ourselves. So when we are motivated intrinsically, we can also share with our students, incorporate that motivation in our sessions, build a spark, create a spark, curiosity in the subject matter that we teach. We can eliminate extrinsic rewards. So the importance of extrinsic rewards, it will happen when it has to happen, and it will anyway happen. So let us focus on the intrinsic motivation factors. And sometimes for the students, we can also try to create a lesson that is free of grades, something that will really be interesting to them. And so in the classrooms, you can also ask the students what motivates them to play games. Just ask them what they like to do when they are free, and ask them what is it that motivates them to like such things. So probably those factors, those resources we can try to incorporate into our sessions that will make the children like our classes. Because sometimes the thing our students need most has got nothing to do with the syllabus. They want something else. They want the classes to be interesting. So how can we create excitement in learning? How to make the sessions enjoyable for self? So when I am talking here, I am really enjoying the way I am talking, the way I am connected with you all, the way you are all responding. So unless I enjoy doing something, it cannot be effective. So when we do the sessions, let us make it enjoyable for ourselves as well as for the students. And how to make the students look forward to our sessions. So tomorrow I have Nirmala Madam's session. So I'm waiting for the session. She is going to give an interesting story or interesting activity. So I'm just eagerly waiting for that. So like this, we have to create some curiosity in our classes. I know you must be, I'm able to hear the mind voice as such. We are stressed, ma'am. Where is the time for bringing innovation? But see, this bringing new techniques not only excites the children, but it also makes teaching more interesting for our own selves. So at least for that, we can definitely bring in some exciting factors and few tips. So now, can I get to know from some of you what are something different that you have been doing in your classes to make the sessions interesting? Any creative way that you have been following, you can share with us in the chat. Is there anything interesting that you have been following to make your sessions interesting? Role play. Yes, Shanu Fatima, very good. Role play, then innovative. What is that innovative, Charumati ma'am? Mono acting. Wow, Srinath. Singing. Oh, very good, Soundra ma'am. Hariharan sir. Using GeoGebra app for drawing graph. Okay. Aravind, then crossword puzzles for revision. Superb. Group discussion, Vijayalakshmi ma'am. Storytelling, yes. I teach with the rap. Wow. Oh, let me hear from you later. Please send a copy of the session material. We'll do it definitely. Riddles, making them do simple experiments, showing puppets. Oh, very good. Geeta ma'am, Subhashni, Charumati, demonstration. Great. I tell a story of the historic activities. Very good. Srinath, making understanding through vernacular language. Yeah. So whenever we use vernacular languages, we connect with them quickly. Demonstrations, showing flashcards, yes, super. Quiz, discussing present situation, warm-up exercises, videos relating to session, playing Treasure Island. Oh, Rukmani ma'am, in your virtual classroom sessions, how will you play? Okay. GD, group discussion, playway method, crossword puzzle, poetical devices using rap. Okay. To encourage them by asking their own experience, connect with the life experiences. Yes, very precious. Participate students in mono acting, PPT flashcards. Students are also, they take some topics. Is it flip grid? Okay. Drawing. Okay, excellent. Lots of innovative ways you have been adopting. So the very purpose of asking you to share here is just for everyone to know that all of us are giving our best, or we have switched on the creative buttons to come up with some novel ideas to make the classroom sessions very interesting, so that the child looks forward to, okay, I'm waiting for Meena ma'am's class. What is it new that she's going to incorporate? What is it new that she's going to do to make it enjoyable for us? So very happy to know all of you have been really doing it. So some of the tips that you have already shared, everything, short stories, animated videos, 5 minutes to make them more confident and self-reliant. Outside the syllabus, we can talk. We can also give them some reward system, like giving them some stars, all virtual stars. Little extra effort we need to take, but works. Maybe during the week, we can say who got the maximum stars. Choose one alphabet a day. For example, today you can tell the students, today before the I start the class, we are going to talk about the alphabet C. So ask them to say whatever comes to their mind about C. C means creativity. So it can be anything to do with the connectivity, whatever comes to their mind about C. Okay, so it can. So this makes their thinking hats on. They wear the thinking hats on, and they also involved in such small activities. So it can be one alphabet a day activity, and then word building from their names. So ask them to build a lot of words from their names, the full name, or you give them one common word and ask them to build as many small words from it as possible. And story building as icebreakers. Sometimes when they are bored, we can always start the first sentence and ask them to go on and complete also. Okay, so this is just a picture of the flashcards, how we can communicate or also make them participate in such activities. And emotional intelligence in teaching is very essential. I'm showing a list of qualities of an emotionally intelligent teacher. So can you type what are your greatest qualities of emotional intelligence which you feel are the best in you? In the chat, I have given some qualities here. Apart from this, whatever you know, also you can type. I'm sure all of you can see the slide. There are some qualities of emotionally intelligent teacher. Okay, positivity, positive thinking, praise. Okay, what other qualities we possess as emotionally intelligent teachers? Getting overhauling. Okay, moral stories, time and anger management. Okay, empathetic. Yes, very important. Understanding the feelings of the student. Yes, that is being empathetic. Encouraging. I'm able to see some repetitive names participating in the chat. Patience to handle all the groups. Yes. How to be compassionate, to be updated. Yes. We need to be resilient, emotionally intelligent to handle the situation. Appreciation for students. Oh, clapping hands. Yes. Positive. Clear-cut instructions very much required. Yes. Cool. Excellent. Patient and polite talk. Okay. Appreciate the students, community building skills. Yes. So the kind of emotional resilience and intelligence we acquire. So now you have typed now some of your qualities as an emotionally intelligent teacher. So now you can pick up some things for yourself which you need not type, where you want to really focus and improve. So it is pertinent or important to be empathetic, resilient, agile, and also be an emotionally intelligent teacher, because even in the live classroom, different kinds of students will be there. They'll be behaving differently. At home, as a mother or as a father, you will be wondering how to handle one child, finding that very difficult to handle one child. So imagine so many children behaving in different ways, and handling them in person itself would have been a challenge. So now, all the more on the virtual sessions, it will be a greater challenge. So all the more we have to become resilient and emotionally intelligent to keep them engaged and keep them involved in our sessions. Okay, to reduce anxiety, what we can do is just one simple formula: focus on the controllables. Okay, for be in the here and now instead of worrying about the future. Anxiety is nothing about worrying about what's going to happen. So instead of worrying about the past and getting into depression, or worrying about the future and becoming anxious, we can focus on the here and now and just focus only on the controllables. To handle this anxiety and stress, this again, some of you might have known, but still for the benefit of others, let me share. Circle of influence and circle of concern. So the inner circle, yellow circle, is the circle of influence. That is things I can control. What I can control is my behavior, my actions, and my words. And the outer red circle is the circle of concern, or things which are beyond my control. When is COVID going to end is beyond my control. What policy the government is taking, that is beyond my control. And definitely they take it the bigger picture. They in having the bigger picture in mind, the way they see is different. We may not be able to understand. So that is all not in my control. What is in my control is to focus on whatever I am doing to be the best, or focus on upgrading myself, and focus on the welfare of people around me, my family, my students, etc. So when we focus on the inner circle, the circle of influence. So if you see this picture, the first one is the proactive focus, where if we focus on what is in our control, that is the inner circle, circle of influence that expands, automatically it shrinks the circle of concern. Instead, on the right side, we have the reactive focus, where if we are going to focus on the circle of concern, that is things beyond our control, automatically the circle of influence shrinks. So, needless to say, let us focus on things which are in our control, the circle of influence by which we will be able to handle stress and anxiety. And we need to be aware of our stressors. It can be people, can be physical, mental, emotional, financial, career. And unless we are able to handle these stressors, we will not be able to give our best in what we do. Sometimes difficult people, difficult situations. How to handle such difficult people? Just make them comfortable. Let us be emotionally strong. As long as I ensure my happiness, nobody can be blamed. And they are sometimes these people are the touchstones to test our own character and resilience. So sometimes that's why God gives such people around us also. So do not worry when such situations come, dealing with difficult people. Uh, take them as learning experiences and take them as touchstones to test our own level of resilience. And this is the relationship sign. So if you feel people are disturbing you, our emotional wellness, just focus on the people you like and people who like you alone, and enjoy such relationships. Just ignore people who you don't like or people who don't like you. If you feel people who like you don't like, then respect such relationships. I don't like them, but they like me so much. Okay, respect such relationships. And if you feel that I like somebody but they don't like me, it is okay. Let us accept. We cannot be liked by everybody in the world. And this is one formula to stay stress-free, a flow chart. So whenever there is an argument or a situation, irritating situation, classify them into whether they're really highly important people or just important or just known to me or just strangers. If they are strangers, allow the situation to calm down or cool down and then ignore. Automatically, it will become all right. If they are little bit known to me, then you can go to the next stage of using the I message to tell them, I feel upset because you told me like this. I feel upset because you came late. Something like that. And beyond expressing this, I feel, my feeling, if they don't understand, then just ignore it. If they are important to us, we can go to the next stage of talking it out. Come, let us talk. What happened? You never behaved this way. Why did you speak like this? We can go to that. So even after that talking out, if they are not able to understand, ignore. But if they are highly important to you, people in your first circle, then we can go to the next level and simply ask one sorry, even if we are not wrong, it's okay. Sometimes the moment we say sorry, people will start thinking their own mistakes. Okay. So this is one simple formula to handle relationships and to have stress-free relationships. This is a concept in transactional analysis, the games people play, the drama triangle. So these are all small tips to stay stress-free for our own emotional wellness. This is a very big concept. If you have deep interest, you can always give a reading for this concept of games people play. So in any transaction or interaction, if you see there are three, there may be in a, particularly in situations of argument or fight, there may be three people. One, the person who causes the problem, who is a persecutor. Two, the victim who is affected. But third, there may be people like us now, we feel we are angels, we jump into the situation to rescue the person, and in the process, sometimes we become the victim. Or people look at us as persecutors. So these positions keep on changing. So the wise way or the smart way is to keep ourselves away from the drama. Drama is nothing but, yes, we have to help others, but unless it is going to be effective, let us not go and fall into the trap of the games people play. So this is the picture. I will share the PPT certainly. Otherwise, you can also give a reading. And this is a very, very simple formula for problem solving. Do you have a problem in life or work? No? Then why do you worry? If we have a problem, yes. Can we do something about it? Yes, then do it. You have a solution. Why do we worry? If we can't do anything about it, then also we need not worry. Simple formula. So whenever we are stressed or stuck with problems, let us ask these questions. Okay, whenever we are angry, this also happens sometimes. So we are human beings. So this is a positive self-talk we can do. There are a lot of positive self-talks for anger management. I've just chosen a simple one. Whenever we are angry, just take a deep breath and tell yourself, I can handle this. This isn't my problem. Don't take any problem personally and think that we are the owner of the problem. I don't need to take this personally. I don't have to respond right now. We can always take time. Everything is going to be okay. Things will change. This too shall pass. இதுவும் கடந்து போகும். Having feelings doesn't mean I'm weak. If I'm a human being, I will have emotion, all emotions. Sad, mad, glad, scared, all emotions we will have. So if you feel you have feelings or emotions, don't think we are weak. It is an affirmation that yes, we are human beings. I'm not responsible for what others do. Many times we stress ourselves about what others do. So in such situations, let us tell ourselves that what is in my control is my behavior, not others. I'd rather be happy than right and win an argument. Breathe. Take pause and breathe. Get into some breathing exercise every day. I can take a break at any time. Suppose somebody is continuously arguing with you. Just quickly take a pause and say, give me some time, I'll come back to you. This isn't a big deal. I don't need to fix this. Sometimes, we need not fix all the problems. Some problems get resolved on their own. If we don't try to fix itself, it becomes all right. And some simple techniques for problem solving. Whenever there is a problem situation, just ask this why 5 times. Okay, this person doesn't like me. Why? So like this, for the answer again, ask why. So this will get you in the fifth why answer for why itself the root cause of the problem. So if we find the root cause of the problem and address it, we will be able to address the root cause, thereby solve the problem. The other one is cost benefit analysis. To decide between options, let us find out the plus and minus between options and decide. So these tips I'm giving for our own emotional wellness. And for our peace of mind, these 4 P's: perceptions, prioritization, pre-planning. Any act which we are able to do little pre-planning. I've heard the saying, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So a little bit of planning and living in the present, here and now. That really gives us, these 4 P's are simple tips for a peace of mind. Why perceptions? Because whenever we are irritated with somebody, let us just visualize this picture. I mean, standing at this side of the 6 and thinking it is 6. But for the person standing on the other side, it is 9. His point of view, he is right. So this is perception. That's why I say it is very essential for our peace of mind. If we are able to understand others' point of view and focus on just these 4 P's, to some extent, peace of mind will be guaranteed. Perceptions, what is other person's point of view, prioritization, what to do and when, pre-planning, and living in the here and now. Finally, some quick tips. 3A model: appreciate, acknowledge, and admit whenever we are wrong or right. This is one model. And as teachers, this is the most magical and the most popular model even for parents. 3A model, what all we can do is to mentor the students, monitor them, and be role models to them. So if you look back, we must have picked up a lot of speaking styles, the dressing styles, the behavioral styles, so many from our teachers who have really inspired us. At this point, I would really like to thank all the teachers, wonderful teachers I had in my school days, and the professors who have inspired me. My English teacher really inspired me to speak so well, so beautifully. And I always felt I have to one day speak like her. So like this, we draw inspiration from a lot of teachers. So you are all here. Why I'm quoting my example is, in any situation, the moment they have to speak, what comes to their mind is the way you conduct, the teachers conduct ourselves, the professors speak, the way they speak, the way they respond, the way their non-verbal communication. So 3M model will really help us to be effective teachers and professors and effective parents also. Mentoring, monitoring, and modeling. The other model is AEIOU model, focusing on the right attitude, with empathy, intelligent, also emotionally intelligent, observe the students and understand the non-verbal cues of their behavior. On the virtual platform, it is a little bit difficult. And everything will be effective only if we are able to have some me time, quality family time, stay connected with friends, and let us not lose sight of all these things, the self, family, and friends. And whenever we feel we have less time to spend for the family, don't worry, remember the Pareto's law, 80-20 principle. So even with the remaining 20% of the time, we can bring out 80% of best results in relationships. That includes a family. So focus on quality time and work-life balance. That only will make whatever we do to be the best and effective. And art of letting go. Let us not hold on to the past. Let's just focus on the present. And before I close, I would like to give one simple relaxation technique. So from wherever you are, just sit back, relax, close your eyes, take a deep breath, probably 3 times you can inhale and exhale. I'm going to give you some instructions. Inhale and exhale. So we are going to do a muscle relaxation exercise. I'm going to give instruction for you to focus on every bit of the muscles in your body. Focus on the right hand and the fingers. Just fist them. Just hold them tightly and release. Right hand and the fingers. Make a fist and release. Next, the right forearm. Just tighten the muscles and relax gently. The right upper arm leading to the shoulders. Gently tighten the muscles and relax. Similarly, let's move to the left hand. Left hand and the fingers make a fist, release. Left forearm, tighten the muscles and relax. Left upper arm, tighten the muscles and relax. Let us focus on the head, above the neck. Focus on those muscles, on the face. Just shrink your face once, relax. Focus on the shoulders, both the shoulders. Just lift the shoulders up and down gently. Next, focus on the chest. I'm playing a music. I'm not sure if you're able to hear. It's okay. Focus on the chest. Tighten the muscles gently and relax. The stomach. And then move to the right upper leg, the thighs. Just tighten them and relax. The lower leg below the knees. Right foot and toes. Just lift them facing the roof and then down gently. Next, move to the left upper leg. Tighten the thighs, then the calf muscles, then the toes. Now lift both the feet up and down. Very gently we have activated and relaxed all the muscles in the body. Now gently open your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Thank you. So this muscle relaxation technique, you have the instructions. You can get it from the Google or from my slide. Positive affirmations are very essential for us every day. I love and approve myself. I feel the presence of those who aren't physically here. I'm too big a gift to the world to waste my time on self-pity and sadness and petty feelings. And simple ways we can overcome the stress in the current situation by boosting ourselves with music or whatever is your area of interest. A good coffee, tea, have a chat with friends. Whichever makes you feel good and positive, move around instead of sitting in one place. In virtual classroom sessions, it happens at the end of every session, just quickly get up and move around. Somebody said you walk in the terrace, that would be good. Work in spurts, 90-30 may not be possible for everyone, so you can design your own spurt. So work for these many hours and take break for this many minutes, something like that. And ask for help whenever you're upset. Ask for help from friends. Start with the family, friends, and still if you need help, counselors are there. Use technology to make things simple and easy. We are doing it. Always keep busy. Let us keep ourselves busy. You know, that is the best medicine in the current situation to remain stress-free, is to focus on the controllables and to keep us absolutely busy. Stay safe. And every day we have many choices for the day. You can either get up and have a positive mindset, be energetic, caring, vital, and creative, or get into that angry bird mode. The choice is ours. So here is an assessment. Let me type in the chat box. So you can do it after the session is over. So yeah, I have. So this assessment is to know how much you are stressed. Okay, so you can use this after the session is over, not now because it takes some time. There are around 20+ questions which will take time. And I very honestly acknowledge the teachers and professors as angels on earth. As I said in the beginning, I have a lot of regards and respects for you all, because unconditionally you have been sharing knowledge like the candles, spreading brightness to the whole world. Your heart is slightly bigger than the average human heart, but that's because you are a teacher. I very sincerely and wholeheartedly say that. And as I thank you in the beginning, I thank you all for being wonderful angels on the earth. Thank you so much. This is my contact. You can contact me for any support required or in any way that I can be of help. And yes, I will share the presentation. Somebody was asking. Whatever I have learned is from the universe, so I never hesitate to share. Okay, so thank you so much. That brings me to the end of the session. I have taken slightly longer time than the time I said, so I skipped some videos. Thank you. So any questions you can ask. Thank you. Thanks for your feedbacks in the chat box. Thank you all for your comments and feedbacks. So I am a student counselor as well. I also conduct workshops for students. So any support required answer. And now, if you want to ask any questions, I know I think the content has been self-explanatory also. But if you want to ask anything, you can ask. Otherwise, we can close. I would be happy to see your feedbacks in the chat box. End of the day, that is what gives us satisfaction.
Any questions?
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, Regharaj sir.
Yes, I am a Saragarajan chemistry teacher.
Yes, sir.
Madam, one question, madam.
Yes, sir.
Students' writing habit is nowadays is reduced, madam.
Yes. For that matter, namakke koranjiruchu nariya.
General question. Not only teacher, even the students also. Lengthwise questions is students are writing only a short answer. A little bit points. A content also should be less. The students also is everyday writing habit is less. Then concentration of the classrooms is very, very less. The teacher is always act as any demonstration, all other as flashcard, anything, all is showed in the classroom. But students are attention is very, very less for current scenario. What are the measures to improve?
Okay. So you mean to say in the virtual classroom sessions or in the real classrooms?
Yeah, even laboratory or classrooms, whatever it may be. The students are the balancing capacity is very less.
Very true, sir. That is the challenge in the current generation, and I think we only can. So as I said, focusing on the controllable is focusing on how we can pick up skills to make them get more involved, and because we cannot directly make them improve their skills. So what we can do from our side, how we can make the classrooms more interesting. And yes, if you see, even in the colleges, the sessions are, the students are more comfortable with the PPTs, and book reading also has come down, not only writing, but book reading also has come down. So I think that's a process of evolution that we are undergoing. And probably in the days to come, for the purpose of examination, the students might mug up and write or prepare and write, but otherwise, writing pages after pages, the trend is certainly going to come down, and I think we need to be equipped to face such transformations that are ahead of us. Yes, the current generation is like that. Their attention span has drastically come down from 1 hour to 45 minutes to nowadays they say not even half an hour. So that's the transformation. It is a challenge, and we only have to devise innovative methods depending on the age group and depending on the group of students that we have, how to make them involved in our classroom sessions. And writing habits, yes, they have to necessarily write when they appear for the exams in person, but this is only a temporary phase. So anyway, when they come back to school, the exams definitely they have to write. They will pick it up, sir. They are very smart. When there is a need, they will definitely adapt to the situation. You see, many students, they will be spending time in entertainments. When the exam comes, they will be jumping into action. They will get into action, study well, and score marks. So I think they have become smarter than our generation.
Then one more question, madam. Sorry.
Yes.
Then problem solving skills are those nowadays the students are very less. Problem solving skills.
Yes. Not only problem solving. That is why the schools and colleges are focusing more on the soft skills. Okay, so not only the syllabus content or the education that is required for the child has to be taught to face the external world. At the home front also, the parents should involve them in the discussions relating to the family. But generally what we do, in the West, you are not involved in the problems, we will take care, you focus only on your studies. So I think elders, as people in our generation, we have to change the strategies as teachers as well as parents. We have to involve them Probably in the classroom sessions, we can give some case studies and ask them to brainstorm about how to solve a particular situation. As teachers, that is the best we can do. But as parents, by involving the children in situations, we can definitely improve their problem solving skills.
Then, madam,
Thank you. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Another
Ranganath, sir.
question. Sorry, madam. Another
Yes,
question.
please. No, don't feel sorry. My time is for this group only now. So I'm available. Don't worry, sir.
Once
Yes,
again, madam,
yeah.
sorry to use. In Tamil general word, in Tamil general word, மாலை முழுவதும் விளையாட்டு. ஆனா இன்னைக்கு உள்ள காலகட்டங்கள் பாத்தீங்கன்னா வந்து ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் வந்து ஒரு 5th ஸ்டாண்டர்டுக்குள்ள இருக்க ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்கூல்ல வந்து ஹோம்ஒர்க் வச்சு நிறைய கொடுக்குறாங்க. அந்த குழந்தை வந்து பொழுதுக்கு ஈவினிங் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 1 hour 2 hour 3 hour வந்து ஃப்ரீயா இருக்கணும். ஏன் அந்த ஹோம்ஒர்க்குங்கிற ஒரு அடாப்டேஷனை வந்து ஒரு 3rd ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் படிக்கிற பிள்ளைகளுக்கு 2nd ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் படிக்கிற 1st ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் படிக்கிற பிள்ளைகளுக்கு ஏன் இந்த அழுத்தம் வந்து இக்கால கல்வி முறை வந்து அழுத்தம் கொடுக்குது? இப்போ நம்ம படிக்கும் போதோ நீங்க படிக்கும் போதோ அந்த மாதிரி கிடையாது. Now we are talented and then facing any problem. But current scenario, the present students, the more mentally depressed for homework in 1st and 2nd, 3rd student also. Even in the same problem, 8th standard student also. Is adolescent period, then learning some other extracurricular activities, extra information. No, the students are getting in more marks. Then no anything used for the current scenario.
Yeah, I understand. So you are talking about the load of homework for the younger children, correct?
Yeah. The more
they are
homework.
not able to find time for playing.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
கொஞ்சமாவது விளையாடணும்.
கண்டிப்பா விளையாடணும். இப்போ நம்ம வந்து சின்ன வயசுல நமக்கு கொடுத்த ஹோம்ஒர்க் எல்லாம் கடகடன் முடிச்சுட்டு நம்ம விளையாடுவோம், இல்ல விளையாடிட்டு கடகடன் முடிப்போம். இல்லையா? We were able to manage. எதனால சொல்லுங்க? Why we could do it that they are not able to do now? Forget about நிறைய கொஞ்சோன்றது விட்டுருங்க. I am sorry for those who cannot understand Tamil and definitely summarize in English also. So இப்ப நிறைய ஜாஸ்தி கம்மிங்கிறது அவங்க கேப்பபிலிட்டி பொறுத்து. இப்ப நீங்க நிறையான்னு சொல்றது கூட சில ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுக்கு ஓகேயா இருக்கும், சில ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுக்கு கம்மியா கூட இருக்கும். எனக்கு இன்னும் நிறைய வேணும்னு இருக்கும், அப்படி கூட இருக்கலாம். நிறைய குழந்தைங்க put me in maximum classes சொல்ற குழந்தைங்களை பார்த்திருக்கேன். Put me in, they take pride in saying I am learning 10 things extra activities. இப்படி சொல்ற குழந்தைங்களை எல்லாமும் நான் பார்த்திருக்கேன். So it depends on the case. Okay, so what we were able to do, now the children are not doing. என்ன difference சொல்லுங்க, என்ன வித்தியாசம்?
Hello, repeat madam.
இப்போ நமக்கும் நிறைய, நம்ம generation we had lot of homework we could handle, but the current generation they are not able to handle because of other distractions. They have to spend time on other things.
I understand.
Other things. So what is not in our control? Not in our control is the policy decision. So the education system has to change. What you say is true. I agree. But we in this small forum can discuss about it and probably escalate it in the appropriate forum. But till the education policy changes, which is beyond our control in today's scenario, today the government can focus only on saving the lives of people. So in the current scenario, what is in our control is to teach them how to manage time effectively. Okay, so if not 1 hour, at least for 30 minutes, they have to get into some physical activity. They can play along with them. Even I have seen many mothers and daughters dancing together for physical activity, aerobics together for physical activity, sons and fathers or daughters walking together on the terrace. So something like that, we have to we should go with them as a friend and make them do that. It's all in our hands, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, sir.
I am chemistry teacher.
Oh, okay, sir. That's very nice. So, in fact, in my sessions, I will say all the skills will work effective and fine only under conditions of NTP, normal temperature and pressure. So, when we apply to soft skills, I say with proper food, healthy diet, and 8 hours of sleep, only whatever we learn will be effective. So,
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I am former teacher in SRM Nightingale, madam.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Munir.
much. Thanks for your good explanation, madam.
Thank you, sir. Any other question, please? Whatever little I know, I will share. Nandri Muniappan, sir.
Any other questions?
So if there is no questions, I'll request the student counselor Haripriya Madam to propose a vote of thanks.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
On behalf of SRM Nightingale Matriculation Higher Secondary School, I thank our chief guest, Mrs. Uma Bhaskaran, who in spite of her busy schedule had accepted our invitation for this program. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your motivational speech and wonderful presentations. I thank J. Raman sir and our Dean Science and Humanities, SRM ISD, Dr. Sundar, for organizing this faculty empowerment program. I thank Mr. Aravindan for giving us the technical support for this session. Last but not the least, I especially thank our educational warriors, that is, all the teachers who have participated in this program. We know that everyone would have been busy with your online classes till afternoon, but in spite of it, you have taken the effort to attend this session. I hope that you would have gained a lot from this program. I once again thank each and everyone for making this webinar a successful event. Thank you all.
Thank you, Haripriya ma'am, Aravindan,
Thank you, ma'am.
Jayaraman
Thank
sir.
you so much, ma'am.
Thanks to SRM Nightingale School and Business Standard for organizing this program. And as Haripriya ma'am said, I sincerely appreciate and thank each participant for taking time to attend this program, because you have all your own schedules, sessions, everything. So taking time to update yourself or upgrade yourself, that itself is an indication of progress. So as she said, you are all warriors in the field of education now, in the challenging times. So this too shall pass, and we have beautiful times ahead of us. So let us use this time constructively to upgrade ourselves, and handle it in a very smart and intelligent way, emotionally intelligent and resilient way. Thank you so much, participants, once again.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll wind up the meeting, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, will you be sending the feedback link? Somebody is asking. So, I am typing the assessment for stress again in the chat box. Oh, Soumya Kannan already attempted the quiz. Okay, good, great. Multitasking. Real time this great session. Thank you, Rajeshwari ma'am. So you can copy the link, whoever is still there, copy the link and try the assessment questionnaire to see the level of stress.